I've already had this thought before, but I've never had the plan. I try for 2-3 times or whatever, and I give up.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Charles and Ernie, and this is a real deal from House Life. Ernie, do you want to tell them where we're at?
Yeah, we're here at Saludos Brewing again. It's at 4820 McPherson. If you haven't been here, come check it out. They have a bunch of variety of drinks to choose from. And at the end of the video, we're going to go ahead and provide a quick tour of the place. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, Ernie, you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about commitment in real estate and life. So that's pretty much our topic for today, is a commitment.
Okay. So I'm going to switch it up on you this time.
All right.
Ernie, what does commitment mean to you?
So to me, commitment is about dedicating. Like if you're deciding on doing something, you're dedicating your time, your energy to that goal. And,
Okay.
and that's what I see commitment as, in my definition, what commitment is. And that goal can be anything in life.
Okay. I like that.
What about you? What's your definition?
I'll say that I'm going to add what you said, because you said, can you recap it again? Because I kind of, I got it up here, but I kind of lost it.
Was it the dedication and putting your full energy to get to that point?
So I think it's a mixture, right? I think it's a mixture of, yes, you can have dedication. Yes, you can put your full energy towards something, right? But let's say you dedicate yourself to working out, right?
Right.
And let's say you're putting your full energy into it, right? But you don't have that set belief inside your heart, inside your mind, that no matter what happens, I'm going to reach that end goal. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to build that muscle. I'm going to reach that goal. So I think, to me, commitment is a mixture of conviction, that set belief,
Okay.
mixed with what you said, the dedication and the full energy to get to it. What do you think?
I like that.
Cool.
So why don't we check Google and see what Google says commitment is, and let's see where we're at.
All right, commitment.
But I like what you're saying. It can be any part of life.
Yeah.
Not just in real estate, or not just in working out, like family, business.
Man, I really like the definitions. The definitions are so cool. Okay, so the first one, it'll give its hat off to you, right? It says the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity, right? And then the second one kind of gives, a little bit of hat to what I said, where it's an engagement or obligation that restricts the freedom of action, which I know that probably doesn't make any sense that it gives its hat off to me, but to me it does, because once you have that set belief, it doesn't matter what, that's an engagement that you have, a promise that you have with yourself that no matter what happens, it's going to get done. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we're both right.
So how can we relate that, like, with a message for real estate, like, or for somebody who's looking into buying real estate or thinking about buying real estate? What's your take on that?
Well, and I was thinking about it on the car ride over here, and I told you, to me, I think it has absolutely everything to do with real estate. And if you've never bought a house before, or let's say you even have, right? This may be something that you've never even thought about. But to me, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, because we said we asked ourselves a definition of commitment, but I want to go ahead and just say something that I'm committed to and how, to me, it relates to real estate.
Okay.
Right? So the number one thing that I'm committed to, right, or that I'm going to go ahead and use as an example, I'm going to give 2 examples. Number 1 will be God. Okay? And number 2 will be my marriage. Right? Okay. So I wanted to pick really deep stuff, right?
All right.
But there's a reason behind it, right? So I think in a relationship with God, and we were talking about it earlier, You have to have conviction.
Right.
No matter what happens, I'm going to go ahead and I have that set belief that I believe in Christ, right?
Mhm.
And he is my savior, and that's it, you know? And two, I'm going to put in the work, right? Necessary to maintain that. Well, not necessarily to maintain that belief, but to
Have the relationship, or
to have a relationship, right? So I'm going to put time and effort into this, right? Marriage, no different, right? It's like I had a set belief. I was going to marry my wife
right.
through the good and the bad. And two, I was going to put work into it, right? So, man, that got really deep real quick. But in relation to real estate, I'm like, okay, it's a big, you have to have a lot of conviction for that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm making this step. I'm not playing around. And it's, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's something that you can't just wake up and say, I'm gonna buy a house today, or I think I'm gonna get married, or I think I'm gonna start going to church. Like, no, it's something. They all require that commitment, and it comes with a plan. Like, you can't just wake up and say, I'm gonna do these things. Like I was saying the other day, I bought my daughter a guitar. She likes to play music, and I was like, I'll buy a guitar. When I was there in Guitar Center, I was like, I want to learn how to play the guitar. And I've already had this thought before, but I've never had the plan. I tried for 2-3 times or whatever, and I give up. But if I had a plan and I said, you know what, I want to learn how to play guitar in 90 days. And so that means every day I'm going to play for 15 minutes, or, start a basic or buy a class or go take guitar lessons. I'm going to eventually learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Because I'm committed to it. I made a plan, and I made a commitment to it. But it was like one of those things. I was there in Guitar Center, and I was like, I know it's not going to happen. So I know I'm not going to, I don't have time right now to even play the guitar, but that is a goal that I'm going to have to sit down, make a plan, and say, by this day, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. Even if it's basic, like, songs or whatever, but it's one of those things, one of those goals that I eventually want to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Just like how you said, I think it applies to like anything, right? And you can apply it to anything in life, right? Something that you want really badly, whether it be a relationship with Christ, a relationship with your spouse, a hobby that you want to take up. You got to have a plan, but you also have to have that set belief that no matter what happens, I'm sticking to this because I'm not going to drop it. Well, you had asked me earlier, well, how does it relate to real estate, right? I think it starts off even with just picking your realtor, right? I think one of the things, just touching on it a little bit, I think that we can get carried away with, especially here in like maybe Laredo. I don't want to speak bad about Laredo. I love Laredo. I moved away and I had to come back because the water tasted so good. At least that's what they say. But you probably got to get a good filter.
Yeah.
But I think the culture here is like, well, let me go with whose name I see the most, or let me go with my comadres, tias, friends, amigas, whatever, that told me that I should probably go with this person. But you got to be very selective, right? Because it's kind of like that commitment that you make, you don't want to waste time. You want to get to your end goal. You want to plan accordingly. And if you have that conviction where it's like, I'm going to get this house, you don't want to make that mistake. Would you agree?
Yeah, and you need to find, well, first of all, as a buyer, as a real estate buyer, you need to have that commitment that you want to buy the house. At the same time, you need to have or find a realtor that has the same commitment to help you find that house. Because just for example, last week, I had a new listing. I had some people call me. Sometimes people just call the sign. And this lady called me and she's like, I really want to see this house. And I asked her, do you have a realtor? And she's like, yeah, I do, but she's not answering. I was like, okay, well, try calling her again. She's like, it's been 4 days and she hasn't answered me. I was like, so how committed is that realtor to helping you buy this house? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So
where are you really getting? How far can you get with that realtor that's not answering you in 4 days?
Okay. And let's say that particular client made that commitment with that realtor. I think you could say, like, commitment in real estate probably has to be two-sided.
Yeah. Well, and we're just talking right now about buyer and realtor. We still need to add the loan officer. Who's going to be doing your loan? That person also has to be committed. They need to be answering the calls when either I call them as a realtor or as a client calls them, because that also can cause delays on the closing and all these other things. So you do need to find a team of committed professionals to get you to your end goal as a buyer. And the same thing goes as a seller. When you have a seller, there's other people involved in the whole team committed to help you sell that house.
Okay. So you could definitely say, like, the personnel, the staff that's going to help you buy a house has to be committed to helping you out. We have to do our part. If that agent doesn't have a heart to help, right? If that lender, doesn't have the time or the expertise to go ahead and say, hey, it doesn't happen, rain or shine, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work this file to get you approved, right? Well, then you may be in trouble, right? But I'm going to talk about I kind of want to share something that, all right, it's a little bit of a sensitive topic, and it kind of makes me a little nervous. But at the same time, I don't want anybody who watches this, I don't want our audience to think that we're talking bad about any clients, right? Exactly. But I do want to go ahead and express that, I've ran into situations before where I've had clients that say, hey, I want to buy a house and I'm ready. And when it comes down to it, I say, okay. And we do a buyer's consultation, right? Free of charge. That's me. I don't want to get too into the real estate side of things, right? But we do consultations, we do meetings to gauge that commitment, right?
Well, real quick, can you explain a little bit what a buyer's consultation is? Like, what's like in 15 seconds? What is a buyer's consultation? What's the benefit of me sitting down with you?
So it's kind of like if you were consulting a doctor, an attorney. You're consulting a real estate professional to give you advice and create a plan for you. That way you're able to buy a house. We're going to give you the guidance on how to do it. We'll create the plan on how to do it, and we'll give you all the steps from A to Z, right? Right. And at the same time, but in that buyer's consultation, we'll be able to gauge the level of commitment from the client, right? Because everybody wants to buy a house. But our very first step is, are you going to show up to that buyer's consultation? Right? Right?
Yeah.
And then once you show up to that buyer's consultation, we do this free of charge. We're investing our time, right? Because we believe in you. Now, the question is, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in that you can, once given the instruction, will you have that set belief? Will you make that commitment to go ahead and move all the way? Right? So we give you the plan. And I've experienced it, I don't know about you, where I've had clients tell me, hey, I'm 100% ready. I tell them the very first step is, let's sit down with the lender and get you pre-qualified, right? Or find out what we need to do to get you pre-qualified. And, well, no, I just want to go ahead and, one of the rebuttals is, no, I just want to go ahead and look at houses right now to see what's available in the market. And then later on, I'll sit down with the lender. I don't know if you get that sometimes.
Yeah, we do. Well, I do.
Yeah. And one of the drawbacks in that and that's not speaking bad about any client, is just letting you, or any prospective client, is letting you know that without sitting down with a lender, we can't gauge, hit my mic there. We can't gauge the approval amount. So we don't know how much you'd possibly get approved for, and we don't want to set the wrong expectation.
That, and at the same time, let's say you're showing a house today, Thursday, and they decide to go speak to the lender on Tuesday, but the house contracted over the weekend. What did you kind of just got high expectations for a house that you're more than likely not going to be able to buy because somebody else went and got it from you, because they were prepared with their pre-approval letter, and they were prepared the moment they saw that house, hey, let's put an offer on it. I don't need to go talk to anybody. I already did that part. That's the benefit, or one of the benefits of getting that pre-approval letter firsthand, at least in my opinion, because you're just going out there looking at houses, and before you know it, it's like, I want that house. Well, it already contracted.
Yeah,
we got to start over.
I want to take it a step further. Okay, so we talked about commitment in regards to the level of commitment that's necessary with an agent. The level of commitment that's necessary, right, from the client to the agent and the lender, right? What happens? What kind of level of commitment do you need when you contract on a home? And let's say, has it ever happened to you when a buyer says, you've already contracted, he's already presented his offer, right? It's been accepted, and he wants to back out for no specific reason. Just maybe he hadn't fully thought of what he or she was getting themselves into.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's happened to me on both sides where I have the seller, and they ask the seller to fix certain items of the house. The seller says, yes, we'll do it. And then 2 days later, oh, we're going to back out. And it's like, and they do have that option. I mean, that's something that, we give or at least my buyer or the office, we have that option period where they can back off for whatever reason. But you want to make sure by the time they're signing that contract, you're committed that, well, I found another house, or no, you know what, the payment's too high. Well, those are things that you should have known from the beginning, because it's just, you're wasting your time, you're wasting the inspector's time, you're wasting the realtor's time, you're wasting the other realtor's time. And it all comes down to the commitment part. And
Most definitely,
you weren't 100% committed. And I mean, it's hard for us also to gauge how committed a buyer is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they tell you one thing and there might be another person involved, that the spouse, one's 100% committed and the other one is 50%.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work. They both have to be, hey, we're ready to go with this one particular house.
Yeah. I've had it happen from both sides. I've had husband, I'm 100% committed. I want the dang house. Give it to me now. And the wife in the background, without, speaking up, was telling husband, or wanting to tell husband, I don't want it.
Yeah. and we're not complaining or
no,
it's part of the business.
It's part of the business.
Just, it goes back to the whole commitment thing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of pointing out the commitment side.
Yeah.
What happens when you're not committed? That
way we can give you guys stuff to think about before you actually take that step. That way we just want, our goal is to give information. That way, whenever, if you guys were ever to take that step, it's as smooth as possible. Right?
Yeah, the one of the goals, especially in there in the office, is to educate the buyers and the sellers.
Yeah.
As we're going along, so you're well aware of what's going on, what to expect, what might be some road bumps coming up.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen, and we're there to walk you through to the end.
It's kind of funny because when you're talking, I kind of feel like a hype man for a second. I just want to say, yeah, because it's true. I agree with everything that you're saying. Being on the real estate side, it's, we've seen it all, and we've seen from even sellers wanting to back out because maybe they didn't see the commitment of, golly, I really got to get rid of this house, and I love it. It's my baby. Maybe you weren't ready to. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We definitely don't want somebody to sell that doesn't want to sell. We definitely don't want somebody to buy that's not ready to take that step. We want to help the people that are ready. And if you're not ready, we're always willing to wait when you guys are, because the right step will come at the right time.
Yeah. And it comes down to setting up a plan and getting you ready to be fully committed and feeling comfortable with the payment, feeling comfortable with the house, feeling comfortable with the whole process.
Yeah.
Some people are ready right away, and some people take 6 months, some people take a year. I mean, I've had clients that I've been talking to them for 2-3 years until they finally decided we're ready. And then, it's cool when you see them from the very beginning where they're real quiet and shy and timid about the whole situation. And by the time we're getting ready, they know the whole process. They know everything.
Yeah.
They're 100% prepared, and
I like that too.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, that always makes me feel happy at the end, where I'm like, man, they're real estate experts now.
Yeah,
like they know, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's a really good feeling. But I don't want to take too much of anybody else's time anymore, Ernie. Well, do you want to finish off and give the viewers at home encouragement if they've gone through the process and for whatever reason maybe they bumped into a real estate agent that really wasn't committed for them, right? Maybe they had a bad experience. You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, I mean, and I was saying, Charles, earlier that I watched this interview this morning, and it goes back to NBA, It was Giannis from the Bucks. They were the number 1 seed. They got beat out by the 8th seed, and a reporter asked him, like, was this season a failure for you? And he kind of like took a while to like, are you serious? And he told him like you're a news reporter. Did you get a promotion last year? He's like, no. So was last year a failure for you? Like, no. And he's like, well, Michael Jordan, he played so many years and he only won 6 championships. The other 9 years, there were failures? He's like, no. He's like, well, you got to stop seeing like that. And it's the same thing like right now for a buyer. We get into that situation where, let's say you're doing credit repair and it's not working and they give up right away and they feel like it's a failure. No, you got to keep on. And it goes back to the whole commitment and being committed that you want to get that house at the end of the day. It's the same thing with them. He wants to get that championship. It didn't happen this year. He's going to do it next year. Like, he's going to try harder next year. And it's the same thing when it comes down to this. Like, it's not working. It's not just going to magically happen. There's going to be some work that we're going to have to put into it to get you to that end goal.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of just mention that because I heard it and I was like, it really relates to what we're talking about today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you didn't win, don't worry. You're going to win.
Yeah.
Some things are just a lesson. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is The Real Deal from House of Life with Charles and Ernie. Feel free to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and comment below anything that you want to hear about regarding real estate. And make sure to give Saludos a visit. Great music, great atmosphere, and just a great place to just come and hang out.